one last thing worth mentioning is distributed energy services, because the advent of more and more distributed energy services is changing the way we think about dispatch on the grid. What are distributed energy services? That's energy and ancillary services that are attached to the grid at the distribution level rather than at the transmission level. So these are resources that are attached to the grid at lower voltage levels, and now we have to think about the grid as a two-way flow of services, of energy and ancillary services. The energy and ancillary services sometimes may be flowing from low voltage sources up into the transmission system, from the distribution system up into the transmission system, or back the other way, which is the traditional way we think about the transmission and distribution system, is from the central power plant out to distributed users. But now we have to think about this as a two-way flow, and it's going to change the way we think about building out our transmission and distribution infrastructure. And one of the advantages of using a central system operator and merit order dispatch across localities is that now we think of the grid and distribution system as a way of aggregating all of our generating assets, our central station power plants and our distributed assets around the grid, that will all be allocated payments for the services to the grid according to their marginal value to the whole grid. So now we can think about aggregating small sources into larger resources and using them as resources that we will compensate to be part of grid services. These resources may be intermittent, they'll be geographically diverse, they'll include not just generation but storage and demand reduction capabilities, among other things that we can't even imagine at this time. And so as we think about the value of using a central system operator mechanism and the information that's provided by the marginal cost pricing of resources across localities and across generation units, that kind of system may be much easier to make effective use of distributed energy resources when you use a central system operator with marginal cost dispatch across all of these resources. In any event, the advent of distributed energy services is a key challenge to grid management. But an argument I think worth making is that it may be that moving to management of energy services and grid services through a central system operator dispatch model may make it easier to integrate distributed energy resources and services into our electricity supply. All right, so just to conclude, price-based dispatch can work not just for electricity, but it can work for ancillary grid management services in addition to energy. And I ended with another argument, and that is, in this world where we're seeing a rapidly changing structure of energy supply, from a move away from large baseload coal-fired power plants to a world where we have a mix of central station baseload power plants, renewables at zero marginal cost, and distributed energy resources, and the potential for demand reduction, it may be that it's going to be much easier for us to take advantage of all these new ways of providing energy services if we provide them through a market mechanism that doesn't necessarily rely on the energy being provided in long-run power purchase agreements. some share of the energy being provided according to the outcome of short-run market transactions, bidding power into an auction, trading power in an exchange, and allocating resources according to the marginal cost signals we're getting from these bids in these energy markets will help us make more effective use of generation resources, transmission resources, and all sorts of distributed energy resources that are becoming available. All right, thanks.